Wakanda forever!
Earth Hour resonates with my values of being responsible for nature. It is vital for me to ensure a green and great Mother Earth for all generations. I'm inspired to support the movement because I see the impact it has on individuals all around the world. With my 10 million tree planting project adding more impact to it. Earth Hour is important because it allows us to work towards achieving better resources for nature. Tourism and agriculture are the backbones for Tanzania's economy, and they're also nature-based. So if you don't stop climate change now, these sectors will collapse. I believe in the power of unity and that the climate crisis is a matter of urgency.
And we are live. I'm Renee Knorr. So excited to be here with you all today. It is Transformational Tuesday. So stop scrolling. It's time for the show to get started. Whether you're in the clubhouse, whether you're on YouTube, or whether you're right there with us on Facebook. We're so excited that you're joining us today. We have a great show that's lined up for you. Not only we're looking forward to having our very own Miss Shirley to join us, but we have a special guest today. Not only is Transformational Tuesday about change, but truly it's about this giant here, Mr. Jordan Taylor. So he'll be joining us when we come right back. So guys, right after these commercial breaks, we'll be back with Transformational Tuesday with GW3Live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Renee Knorr, model, creative director, founder of Global Women Wealth Warriors, Wellness Hub, and GW3 Magazine. I dedicated my life and devoted my career into helping women and girls to achieving their goals. I've been passionate about empowering women and enriching men. This opportunity in working with the Global Women Wealth Warriors have afforded me the pleasure of traveling outside of the country to be a support unit, most importantly, to help impact and change lives. Our ultimate purpose is to help others to become whole from finance, spiritual, mental, as well as physical. We know there are challenges and obstacles to get you to the next level. However, it's time for you to level up, boss up, and welcome to Power to Soar. And we are back. So glad that you were able to join us. As I share with you, not only do we have an incredible lineup for you all for Transformational Tuesday, it's truly just that. It's been a remarkable journey, and we're looking so forward to hearing from the man himself, Mr. Jordan Taylor. But before we bring up Mr. Jordan Taylor, let's bring up the queen herself, Miss. Hey, Miss Shirley, how are you doing, superstar?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me today. I'm always so happy to, contribute into the Transformational Tuesday. So I'm so happy to be here, Renee.
Well, we're grateful that you are here with us as well. Not only you're one of our veterans, you're an author, an amazing mother, and I mean, the list can go on and on and on about your energy, what you do to humanity. And of course, we're going to learn more about you as well. But you know what? Today is special. I'm so excited. We just finished hearing the document about Mr. Jordan Taylor. But you know what? We have the man himself right here with us. Jordan, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing good.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? We're happy that you're here with us this afternoon, this morning. It just all depends on where you are in the world today. And right now, we know you just turned the volume. I thought it was Usher that turned the volume up on the heat of Atlanta, but it's all about you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, yes. So, Jordan, thank you for being here. Thank you for what you seem to do. And always, I'll remember when I first met you, Jordan, such a kind, mannerable person. And I gather that was almost like 6 or 7 years ago when we first met. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, let me tell you how I started. Broken, it was another broken egg. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
but
Restaurant. Yes.
they're working there right now
I wish I was there. I wish I had some breakfast right now. I think I need to, after this clip, we're going to have to go and have some breakfast, okay?
for sure.
Another broken egg is where I first met Jordan. And just so nice and so personable. And I know you haven't changed at all. But you know what's so great about you, Jordan? Even though you were, in a transition at that time, no one ever knew. You always made us feel so special. You were over at the Covenant House, and I really want everybody to know your story. Please, if you can share with us, as a young student, especially in Atlanta, there's a lot of, we know there's a lot of youth that are homeless,
Hmm.
and that was your story. So share with us how you even got to that point, first and foremost, Jordan. And thank
Are,
you again.
are you talking about like from being homeless or just like start from the beginning?
Well, start from the beginning. But one of the things I said, because a lot of people don't even realize the homelessness that is here with our young people in Atlanta. They really
Yeah.
don't know that. Yes.
Well, I mean, well, due to the circumstances I had, dealing with, parents, biological family, sometimes like me, I'm very super extroverted. So I am a social butterfly. So it's pretty nice. It's kind of it's different because when you have family that's like they're not like they're more of small talk than just likes to talk and whatever, because I'm kind of forcing myself not to talk to people because I do talk a lot, and so it's kind of like do some distance being at home and like I said, getting locked in the room and do all the they call that discipline and I call it as abuse thing. So that's kind of like that circumstances. So I left at 18, moved in with my grandmother. Unfortunately, that didn't work out because, my grandmother actually suffered with mental illness. So I was abused by her during when I was staying with her as well. So then that's when I decided to go somewhere, at least try to get myself out, just trying to escape. Because I just don't want to play both sides. And went to this mental hospital called Richview and just try to give myself something. So at least just give myself away from them because of everything that's been going on. And then that's when I ended up at the Covenant House thing, at the shelter, and was there on and off for about 4 years from like 2016 through 2020. And like I left like during the pandemic around July of 2020. Um, and yeah, it was a lot of ups and downs in that place, a lot of ups and downs. You're dealing with a bunch of youth that are went through a lot of trauma, and a lot of people are not healed from those traumas, so they try to use other things to try to cope with their situation, which is not really the best way how to cope with your situation. So um and you're dealing with different personalities as well, so you're dealing from all different walks of life no matter what they got going on. And so yeah, that's kind of like basically it from there.
Well, thank you for sharing that insight of what transpired in your home as well as in your journey. What we don't realize, the mental awareness is, like you said, sometimes it stem from when you're younger, and then with family members, and then as a child growing into adulthood, we need guidance. Children need guidance, and if we don't have a clear information to provide us with those right tools, unfortunately, our youth get lost.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think also, and I think Shirley, you're pour into this as well. What I appreciated about your clip, you not only realized that you needed help, but you also needed mentors, and you talked about those mentors as well. Now, the Covenant House is one of the most I would say supportive organizations that's right in the Atlanta area. We've done a lot of work with the young leaders over there by providing them with clothing, as well as getting them groomed for job placements and things of that nature. And I mean, I'm just grateful that you had a shelter to be able to go and lay your head down as opposed to just being out on the street. And then having that transition of being able to work at another broken egg. So therefore you can at least find that stability. How did you go about finding your mentors? I would love to know that.
That's where I so just bring a little back. So um when it comes to church, Passion City, I've taught you a lot more about Passion City than you realize. That's where the connections come into play. This is where your growth comes into play. For those of you that probably never heard of this, I currently go to Passion City. I've been going there since 2018, so it's about to be, I think, 6 years now. It's I'm gonna say this from all my for our culture for itself is very, very different. It's not like uh like traditional. This is like contemporary. This is like it's like a concert thing and those kind of things. They actually have their own like church band, so they're like on SoundCloud, Spotify Music. Um, they're releasing their new album called Call on Heaven this upcoming Friday, so it'll be on Apple Music and Spotify. So check them out. They're so good. And yeah, so I met Ryan at Passion, and he was doing a men's night at his place in Midtown at the time when he was staying there. And it was about like you mentioned, about 50, 75 guys. And I recognized him because, because he did stuff with the Covenant House as well. So, and so he was one of the leaders for young professionals at that time. And he, I don't know, I got his number. We kind of got connected, and it just kind of grew from there. It just, um, you know, he's done a lot for me in this journey for the past 4.5 years than I can ever remember. He has taught me to, what it's like to have communities. And I'm not talking about just like the homeless thing. I'm talking about like amongst us. A lot of people, like, one thing about the Covenant House that I have learned living there is once you leave Covenant House, that's pretty much it. Because, like, a lot of times we ain't got nobody outside of what we already have. Like, once you're in the program, you're getting all the support and treatment and everything else you need. But you need something outside where they're supporting you through your time. See, watching someone from afar is a lot different than being part of the person's journey through it all. And so that's one thing I love about Passion, because they give you an opportunity to get connected with people that's been through the situations that you have gone through, but they overcome it by having the support around you to be part of your journey with you. And I think that's such an important thing. And I think I've learned in life is like, this is the route that I need to be on in order for me, so I don't end up in the same situation I once was before. And honestly, it made me be a leader. It made me to, do hangouts that I do every once in a while. I think the biggest one I did so far was probably the Super Bowl party literally a couple weeks ago. I think how many? There was like 35, 40 people that came. It was at somebody else's house, actually. So yeah, this is me like coordinating it. Had food. Everybody had a good time. It was like fellowship thing, whatever. But yeah, that was probably the biggest one I've done so far. Uh, so everything I just kind of learned was from Ryan, and I've been watching like lead people like wherever's at his place or just do whatever for so long now. And it's like I want to really do something like this one day by bringing community together, just like what I've learned at church for so long. Um, one thing I've learned in life is that you can know a lot of people, but if you don't have no community, it doesn't really matter.
So true. So true. Jordan, I have to say your story is so inspirational. Because not a lot of young people internally realize that there has to be a change. There's a catalyst that happened within, in your case, your family. You just needed to get out of that environment because our environment, for the most part, do shape us. And so I can see myself through you. I relate so much with your story. And I just give you like so much kudos that you were so courageous to figure it out on your own, to say, this environment no longer nourishes me and my mental health, and I need to go find it somewhere else. And I love that you found that community at Covenant House. Now, let me ask you this: when you saw, your mentor, what were some of the characteristics that you saw that really kind of capture you, and you saying, "This is somebody that I want to emulate. This is somebody that I want to follow"?
Well, I mean, his testimony is the biggest one. I think when sometimes when you look at people how they are, they feel like they're like really well put together and they feel like they're above everybody until you actually listen to their story. That's why I love about being at Passion is that, everybody feel like, because where they are, like I can look at Renee and I can just look at her and be like, oh yeah, she's like a millionaire goddess, glamorous woman or whatever. But then it's like when you actually know someone, you probably don't even realize folks go through the same things that you have gone through. Like one thing about Ryan's testimony I'd like to share is, he was more of like he went to Florida State, uh, graduated from there. He got into, he's always been a Christian for so long. The problem is like when you get caught up in the world stuff, people like, he's a party starter. He likes to dance a lot, and and he almost overdosed twice and stuff like that during his college phase. And that's what the world will do you. They will try to get you caught up in things that's not your calling. You know what I mean? But sometimes it does happen because it happens for a lot of people in our generation these days. But then I think what made him pursue back in Christ fully was, he's decided to let everything, all that stuff go and just surrender. I think that's such a big thing. And I think a lot of times, the world we're living in today, there's a lot of people that, say like, claim that they're Christian or whatever, but they're not living like it. And that's the thing that we see in the world is like, yeah, I'm a godly man or godly woman or whatever, but I'm still going out to these clubs and I'm still going out here getting lit and this and that and third, and just be like, I mean, that's that 1 foot in, 1 foot out that Ryan's taught me throughout so long. Either you be fully in or you be fully out. There's no in between. So that's what I'm saying. I think one of the biggest quotes he told me is that stop complaining about change if you're not willing to make the change.
Mm.
Yes.
So great.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought that was deep right there because, like, at the end of the day, people are watching you how you move anyway.
Oh yeah.
So regardless of what you do, it's up to the people around you to even gravitate towards what you're doing. And sometimes it's not the case because everybody has different walks of path to life. And I think sometimes you got to meet around different people in order to gain different perspectives. And I think a lot of times we get comfortable because where we come from and feel like this is how life should be. But in reality, it's not.
You're speaking over there like an old soul. I just want you to know. You are. Let me just say this. Not only you have been able to find your way, but you also do it so eloquently through the words that you share because you're also a poet. I enjoy reading your poems. And, I'm looking forward to Passion Christ singing one of your songs one day, because you put some real nice words, and I know they could put the lyrics, and it could be just that, okay, all the way in. I love what you said. You cannot be doing the double dutch. I always say, get ready to do the Michael Jackson back step. You have to be all in. You got to be all in, or don't even bother coming at all. Because what happens in this transformation, and this is just for any and everyone, it's so easy for us to go back to what the brain knows. It's so easy for us to go back to that comfort. So when we really push ourselves and even stretch ourselves, we have to realize we got to now go where the unforeseen is. And that's always the challenge for a lot of people, going towards the road less traveled as a one that they're so comfortable in traveling. We even know, even with Lot's wife, she wound up wanting to go back to what she knew, as opposed to going to where God was trying to grow her. So in your journey, you've been able to grow. Not only have you been able to grow, you've been able to shine the spotlight on so many others. I love the nonprofit organization as you're pouring love, because everybody know I like to pour into you. You've been pouring love over there with the coffee shop. How's that coming along?
Oh, it's going pretty good. We actually have our first class youth just graduated back in December of last year. They've been with us for a whole year. We actually started around 2022, actually. And so we do classes at City of Refuge, where if you guys who are not familiar with City of Refuge, just like for mothers and caretakers and pregnant women, and they have like daycares for kids, which is affordable as far as kids to go. And yeah, it's wild. It's funny because you say that, because like when me and Ryan talked about this when I was living with him in 2020, it was just kind of like an idea thing. And, and it was basically the reason why the program even started was because of my testimony anyway. And it just kind of like, I don't know, it just grew. And then we just started doing all these pop-up, try our coffee and stuff like that. The goal was to get our own coffee shop, actually, and actually people can actually come to our place and actually check it out. But in reality, due to the investors, we didn't have enough funding to even have my own coffee shop. So the goal was that the program behind what we're actually doing. And so it's pretty cool. There are a lot of kids, different walks of life. Just reminds me of being at the Cove. And all of them are actually from the Covenant House, actually, as a matter of fact, which is wild. And honestly, in some of them that is in the program, I used to live with them at the shelter days, and it's kind of wild. So it's pretty wild. It's just really just see like the youth grow from their mentors and whatever, and how much like two got accepted to college. I think 10 moving into their new housing, and I think 365 days they've been meeting with their mentors like throughout a weekly basis. And I think there was like 30 interviews so far, mock interviews that we've been working on. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, our next cohort class, it will be in late April for our fourth class. We're super excited for that. That's going to be a very special time. And that's also going to be a special time also because our second class youth will be graduating around the same time when we're beginning our fourth class. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's so amazing, Jordan. I mean, I see you, you're getting out of an environment that didn't suit you and found your way and was able to grow as a leader. I can see you are a leader now of young people that are also trying to find their way, and how best to do it with a coffee shop when everybody can come into community, have a cup of coffee, have conversations, meaningful conversations. And so it's so amazing to me that somebody as young as you really took, the leap of faith and took the lead in not only your own life, but in pouring into others. And so I commend you so much for that. Definitely. You know, one of the things that I'm, you know, because I really love to look towards the youth, because I know that I was an at-risk youth myself at one point. And so I wanted to ask you, nowadays with technology and everything changing, what are some of the commonalities you see that lends for young people to be out in the streets and be homeless?
Mm. That's a good question. I'm trying to see if I can put it in the put it into words. A lot of times, if God is not in your heart, then it leads to something else.
Mm.
And I think a lot of times we don't really look at that much. That's what I'm saying. Like at the Covenant House, yeah, like for me, from my experience, it's a great program to give you all the type of resource that you need to help you benefit your situation. But sometimes people are not healed from their situations.
That's right.
That's the biggest difference. You know, a lot of people, like I mentioned about the whole trauma thing. See, I think the quotes that like Renee talked about these poems that I've been doing for a while is like, do you want to live in trauma or do you want to be healed from trauma?
That's right.
There's a big difference between that, because a lot of times we try to take our trauma and we try to take it out on others that either they wasn't there when all that stuff happened, and they try to take their emotions out and stuff like that on people that who show love and care and whatever.
It's like hurt people, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And it's just it's unfortunate because, you know, like we also live in a world too that me and Renee talked about this at church one day. We talked about like there's a spiritual war going on.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's a lot of spiritual warfare going on. I'm kind of dealing with this at work right now. You're dealing with a bunch of spiritual people, that believe in like the universe and those kind of things like that. And some people don't realize like it's a lot of church hurt that goes along with that, and that's why people decide to join to something that's not the best source, but it's like, I mean, like I said, it works for you, but I'll be praying for you though. But it's just some people are, you just gotta let people, like, you gotta really show them what the gospel looks like, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times I think now we live in this world now that in our culture that there's the vision between culture and kingdom. There's a big difference. And I think a lot of times we try to play the culture side and the kingdom side, but I feel like kingdom is the way it got me out of the hole that I'm in than living in culture. Because it's easy to suck into some of the music we listen to. Because I used to listen, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I like when I was not Christian, I used to listen a lot of, of course, like the Chris Browns, the Drakes, the Lil Waynes, the Beyoncés, and you know, the list goes on and on. And I've realized, listening to these songs now, I realized that, you know, I stopped listening to those songs a long time ago. And because I realized it's like people that listen to these songs, they live in their own pain instead of actually healing from their own pain. It's weird. I don't know, nobody really pay attention to that, but a lot of people really just like when they go through stuff, they just live in the pain, just let them know how they feel, than just actually being healed from that, so they don't have to go through that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my music now has changed a whole lot. I have passion music as my #1 Spotify playlist because I listen to them literally all the time because it excites me. You can ask Renee yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Well, you know, Passion Christ, the music is just incredible. You know, we wind up spending time at church now. I've gone to Passion Church before. Passion City. I've gone there before. However, it was just a whole new perspective. And, you know, it's all about timing as well, because sometimes you have to hear things when you're ready to hear things.
Oh.
And oh my goodness, that day, Jordan, you don't even understand how the sky just opened up and it was just like pouring down on me right at that moment, at that time. And it was so what God designed. And I just felt that jolt of just his godly energy going through my body. And like I shared with you, I need that new song. I need those new CDs or whatever you guys are doing now, Spotify. I want to make sure we are able to get the music that they're coming out, because I think it's coming out. Is it March or April? When are they coming out with the new?
March 1st will
March
be
1st.
is this upcoming Friday.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, just for
Yes.
out there for people that's watching it right now. I watched they just released a video last Friday called Agnes Day, and it took
Okay.
in Mercedes-Benz. So we do a conference every year, and we we perform our songs that we play at church. We perform in a bigger setting. So we perform at Mercedes-Benz. I was actually on YouTube. I'm gonna send this to Renee later after the show. I'm on this song called Praise, and it's got one of my favorite Christian artists named Brandon Lake. Please listen to Brandon Lake. He's so good. I'm actually in the video, like towards the end, like I'm on the choir. So at Mercedes-Benz, and that was one of the most best nights you can ever imagine. And the Agnes Day song, I'm not gonna lie, I've like it was the last day of conference around the 5th of January, and man, I don't know. It's
Was it that impactful?
Wait, they had 60,000
it was.
people. Let's
Man,
just
listen.
talk about 60,000 people.
I can feel the energy.
Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm just gonna throw this.
60,000 people. Oh my
It
God.
it was about 60,000 people, young
Yes.
people from 18 to 25, and from 50 states, 70 different countries. And there's this song Agnes Day. I was actually on the floor when I saw all this was going on. I was like, great. Um, the chorus was, "Are you Lord God Almighty? What He is worthy is a lamb, and you are holy," or something like that. And I ain't gonna lie, the music stopped playing, and you just hear the chorus throughout the entire stadium. And I'm looking back on YouTube, and I'm watching the band. One of the leaders of the band was laying down on the floor on the stage and just had his hands up. And then the light was that's like from the window was flashing through the stage at that moment. And it was one of the craziest moments I have ever witnessed as a Christian. And it's crazy because I'm like, this is wild. Like I literally froze. All I said was just all, no words. Because it was just one of the craziest nights. Like I have never seen like so many like young people, like, when it comes to the music, like most people you just hear from the choir from like a Baptist perspective. But when you hear something like this, man, that's a different animal. That's a different animal in that joint. All I did was looked around from top to bottom, just sitting on the floor, and I said, "This is unreal, unreal." And but yeah, check it out. It's on. It just came out last Friday. I cry every time I watch it because it's pretty like from a Christian perspective. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen because it just kept going on and on for about 5 or 6 minutes of just hearing the acapella from everyone in the stadium singing the same chorus. And it just kept going. And then it just like led to a sermon from our passion band leader named Christian Stanfield. And it's just like, man, all I remember is the light was shining through the stage during that moment in time. If that's not a God thing, I don't know what to tell you, because that's one of the craziest things I ever witnessed.
Well, truly, God is using not only you, your ministry, your works, but also I'm happy that you see Him in you right now. Because as a young person, I'm not going to tell your age unless you want to tell everybody your age, but as a young person, being able to identify your purpose and your calling now, especially everything that you've gone through, that not only takes wisdom, but it takes maturity. And you have been able to grow yourself through this personal growth. That's why now, not only you're in alignment with God, you're in alignment with where you're supposed to be in your season right now. Right now. March 24th, I'm going to invite you, as well as all of those beautiful young leaders over there at the Covenant House. We're going to be together for our I Am Impact where we're celebrating not only phenomenal women, but we're going to be celebrating our young leaders also, because we need you all. Okay, we need you all. March 24th, I want you to come to be a part. Now, I know your favorite color happened to be red, but that day, can you just wear green for me? Can you just wear a little shade of green?
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day, of course. St. Patrick's Day. You know what I mean?
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, it's a Sunday, so we'll make sure we do the service earlier. We probably can see if we can have some of our warriors to join for the Passion City Church, because they have two services, one at 9:30 and then the other one is at 11. And then afterwards, from 2 to 5, we will celebrate and have you on the stage, because your story is just so impactful, Jordan. It really is.
Appreciate
it. Yes,
Yeah.
March 24th.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, we got the green hearts. I mean, everybody, you've got this. I mean, everybody's just blowing up. Woo!
For love. I love it.
Yeah, we have our own merch going on.
There you
I love
go.
it.
Yeah, we have our own merch going on. So we have a Pour of Love t-shirts, and we also have how, like, we took the I don't know, nobody thought this idea, but actually Ree and Ryan actually came up with this idea. So we had like the little Pour of Love nutrition facts. You ever seen those? Like when you get food and let you know the sodium and the sugar, how much sugar is. So we took that and we made it our own. So it's like 110% professionalism, and I think 190% customer service and those kind of things, and 70% of excitement and 90% passionate. So like we took all that and we put it in our own thing. And
So you made it like a nutrition facts.
oh yeah, yeah.
Amazing. That is so unique. I love it. I need to have one of those shirts for sure.
Oh yeah,
we gotta get that shirt in green also.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we gotta get that shirt in green.
Yeah, one more show and tell right here. This right here.
Yes. Ooh.
This
I
from
love it.
last year. It's called I Witness It, and it's by Passion itself. They had this on sale for a while. But yeah, this was like 2023. So I had this for a while, and it's so good. Yeah, this is like this is the Passion new album on Apple Music, so feel free to check it out. So Josh,
Sure. I am loving your merch for sure.
Yeah.
I love shirts.
oh yeah, everything.
Inspired. You gotta wear it and believe it and feel it.
Oh yeah,
for sure. No, I'm so happy. I am so blessed to be here just to listen to your story, because you emanate like your purpose and that internal happiness that you have. Like you have an authentic happiness inside, and that always happens when somebody really finds themselves and find their purpose in life. And I appreciate everything you're doing right now for the youth, because it's so important nowadays, especially with social media. This thing right here can really make people lost. And so I commend you for taking your pain and transformed it into power. And so kudos to you, Jordan. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person for sure.
oh for sure. One thing I would say to those people on social media, because a lot of people always tell me about social media all the time. All right, so everybody would be like, "Oh yeah, social media, it's just such a, it's just toxic and it's just so much, bad stuff that goes on." All right, I'm a social media junkie. So I am an Instagram junkie. So follow me on Instagram, Jordan_Smooth VE. Yeah, it's not THVE. That's my own thing.
Mr. J Smooth.
Yeah, J Smooth, man. Yeah, that's my nickname.
Yes.
Social media and especially Instagram is about what you watch and what you pay attention to. See, a lot of times we watch a lot of things that's not good for us to watch, but we still watch it anyway, and we feel like we internalize of what we see and what we pay attention to. The way I post things is a lot different. It's a lot of, it's a lot of prayer. Sometimes I post a lot of videos from people that are in Christ of how they can encourage. And all I do is post that stuff, and I post it on my Instagram stories all the time. I literally post every day. And I literally take the time and actually try to encourage someone throughout their day or whatever, because, I feel like God has called me to kind of like encourage, people all over, just to see what people are actually got going on. And sometimes, most of the time, I post up different pastors. One of my favorite pastors, who I enjoyed listening to all the time, and I love how deep he is, because it will definitely get your attention. If you have not listened to Mike Todd, it's a different animal. Mike Todd, he goes to Transformation Church in Oklahoma, and I got his book called Relationship Goals, and that
I
that
see one, yeah.
yeah, that's different. That's different, because man, yeah, he is definitely one of my favorite pastors, because every time I listen to that man, it just hits me every time. I was like, golly, this guy right here is amazing. Because sometimes he'll say things that test your convictions, and you just feel like you get exposed, because you go like, because you be like, oh damn, I need to check myself then, because I chill out whatever the heck I'm doing, because as like he just really just said it right through my face. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, if you haven't listened to Mike Todd, such a great pastor, he will definitely test your convictions, because trust me, it just gives you in check. Like, all right, I'm gonna stop whatever I'm doing. I'm just gonna focus on you, no matter what life throws, because everything can be an idol. Idols is such a big topic for me. Is don't use everything as an idol. God is your idol. He's, because a lot of times we prioritize other things.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just giving to, the one who made you to be a difference maker. Because a lot of times we try to prioritize with work and money, financially, working out or whatever, instead of just like what Louis said, Renee.
Yes.
It's a big wagon wheel. It's a big wagon wheel. It's like a little chart. Jesus is all over that.
Yes.
But we like to use other things to go around it, to try to cope with whatever is like, because you're trying to prioritize other things. Right. Instead of just looking like, we probably look at Jesus, be like, yeah, I pray. Okay, I prayed this morning. Cool. And then we just put him in the cabinet. And then I just go back and do whatever I needed to do. And it ain't it. It ain't it.
That's not it at all. That's not it at all. Well, you know what? Like I share, not only have you found yourself, not only have you found yourself, but you healed yourself as well. You said something that was so profound, because a lot of people are walking around not only with trauma, but they keep on reliving the same old trauma over and over again. You said that right through a music, right through songs. Every time you hear the song, what is it going to do? It's going to make you think about what you had to go through and things of that nature. So that is important for us to release it. Not only do we need to release that type of energy, we have to release certain things that even stimulate that. And once you release it and give it to God, then you cannot keep going backwards. You have to move forward. I want to share this with everyone. Guys, these are some of the poems that Mr. J. Smooth sends me. And I just want to hear, I want you to hear this one.
Oh boy.
This is perfect because it's at the beginning of the week, right? Here we go again at the beginning of a new week. Don't allow this week to be just another week. A lot of people didn't wake up today, but you did. So it's up to you to do the work, make the change, and love yourself. Your dreams, success, happiness, and health all depend on showing up. Nobody can do what only you can do. That's powerful. There is power in you, and it's time for you to plug into doing the things that add positivity and peace to your life. And there is no better peace than knowing you're investing in the greatness that's in you. Have a great week. Jay Smooth. Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
For that. Woo!
There we go. Oh my goodness. That is so touching.
Yes.
For sure. That is so touching. And it's so great to probably just read something like that when you wake up in the morning and have gratitude for the day, right? Because this is what it's all about as well. And just reading a passage like that, it's so amazing. Thank you so much, Jordan. You're doing
Anytime.
it. You are doing it.
You are doing it. So, Jordan, in wrapping up today, Transformational Tuesday, what are some of the words? I'm going to use this because we know right now suicide is at an all-time high, especially for our young leaders. Just this year alone, we've had 2 people to be impacted by suicide. And for those who may not know, viewers and readers, my brother also, he committed suicide. So, just from your perspective, what are some words of encouragement that we can truly send out on those airways for those who are dealing with maybe not having that community, maybe not being able to see themselves the way God see them? What are some words of encouragement coming straight from you,
I
Jason?
would, I would say feel love, feel encouraged. Um, I think be them through it all. You will see a big difference between, like I mentioned earlier in the show, is being part of their journey. You never know what life can take them, and it's about making them better too. So I think, a lot of times, when we think about our situations, a lot of times I learned in life is that everything is not a lonely journey. And I think sometimes, um, people that's in your life that show you that type of love and care that you need, that's to help you get over the hump. And I think sometimes we don't really have that type of support these days because all we think about is ourselves and not think about the circumstances that might benefit us. You know what I mean? And I think that's just such a biggest thing in my heart because, all I want to do is, be a light to people around me because I know what that's like. And I just try to tell people Jesus is the only way. And I think a lot of times we try to think we got everything figured out until we don't. Because that's where a lot of people do a lot of crazy things. Like, it's funny. I I actually thought about this and it's actually pretty hilarious. When I mentioned earlier about the whole culture and kingdom thing, my friend, Ryan and I actually just talked about it. It was like more like a joke thing. I said, when you watch like Love and Hip Hop, and you just see how people are on there, and it's just so funny because like that's the environment that I grew up around for so long. Because it's such a, like when you watch it, it's different when you're watching it and when you're living in it. It's a big difference. And a lot of people don't think about that because, like, oh my God, they got more money than I do. They got all this, they got all that, but they're not happy though. That's the thing. And that's just funny because most people that are not saved from Christ, a lot of people are not happy with what they already have. Like they got these big houses, they got all different type of materialistic things and whatever, and they still not happy. I was like, that's something wrong right there. And it's crazy because it's like you don't really like a person like myself. It's like, man, I was spending time comparing myself to those kind of people because like that's the destination I want to take myself towards. But then it's like when you found something more fulfilling to know that you're gonna get there. It's just that it's about God's timing, and I think a lot of times we prioritize ourselves so much to the point where that we just forgot who actually make us to be something a whole lot better. You know what I'm saying? And I think what did Denzel Washington say? He said, "Each one teach one."
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, each one teach one. You never see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
That's a great metaphor. I love it.
Yeah. So, but
Yes,
yeah,
he
I mean,
definitely said that.
yeah, you never see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that we all have to remind ourselves is that be a light to someone today. Doesn't doesn't matter where they come from. Those kind of things, like show them some love and encouragement, and maybe it might be something that they probably can actually have some type of hope that someone that does see them in a way that there is hope for them to even get out of the hole. Because most people these days, how the world is today, most people don't really care. All they think about is themselves, and they just focus on going point A to point B. And I think it's kind of hard to find that. But when you do find someone that does bring that type of love and careness and the light into your heart, be grateful to be around those people, because those people actually take the time out of their own free will to actually to invest in you for the better, just like the way I have. And I think sometimes it's hard to find help where, and it might be someone that you like, one, they're not your blood family or whatever. It should be random people that's come in there and they just, they just try to show you that support and love. And I think that's all we really need these days. And I think for the young people these days, we have to remind ourselves that, we have to realize what we have. You can't just compare yourself to other people and feel like you should get to where they're at, because they're not happy in their end either. You know what I'm saying? God is the only way of helping you through your time of your success, because sometimes it's easy to compare yourself out there, and then you feel discouraged within yourself because you're not at that place where they are. And so I think that's just such a powerful thing. So
Absolutely. I love you so much. Oh my goodness, I love you. Miss Shirley, what are some words of encouragement you would like to leave for our young leaders? I mean, and as it stands right now, suicide is right across the board, but truly, what would you like to pour in? Thank you so very much, Jordan.
Yeah, for
mhm.
sure. I mean, for me, it's be the change. Be the change that you want to see in others. And one thing that I always think about, and I love quotes. One of the things that I believe it was Henry Ford who said this. He said, "If you believe you can or you can't, you're right." On
Mm-hmm.
both. And so believe, and how you see yourself and how you think about yourself is so important on the decisions that you make every day. And so I always also believe that your environment really creates you. So try to find your tribe. Your tribe is out there. Your community is out there, and lean to them and have them pour into you. Okay? Because like you said, Jordan, this is a team sport. Okay, we are humans, and as humans we have to be together, right? We have to be in unity and in community. And so like you said, nowadays is so easy to just think about yourself and think that you can do it all on your own, and you soon find out a very true reality, right? That you're all alone. And so definitely find your tribe, elevate, think of yourself as somebody that's here for a purpose in life. Everybody's here for a purpose. And so definitely those are my 2 cents for today.
Absolutely love those, and very, very much so value added. And I just want to pour in, one, you're not alone. In this space, you may feel that you are alone, but you're not alone. Open up and don't be afraid to ask for help. Currently, right now, that's the only way, even with us, that we are able to get ahead. And as Jordan said, sometimes we look like we have everything together. We're still just like you. We have to keep on believing in ourselves. We have to trust the process. And I'll say this for everyone who hears my voice: please put God first in your life, in everything that you do. There's no way that you can ever stop praying enough to Him for everything. Pray to Him for forgiveness for you, for even feeling certain ways about yourself, forgiveness for those who have hurt you in the past, forgiveness for even allowing yourself to be down on yourself, forgiveness, and keep asking God to provide you with His strength, with His legs, with His arms, with His body. Just ask God to be able to be in your life every step of the way, because He's already there. You just have to know that He is. Have the faith and keep that belief system so locked and loaded that no matter what you do, you will be able to get through. And last but surely not least, please do not compare yourself to anyone other than yourself than what you did on yesterday. Just keep comparing yourself to YOU. That's it. That's it. In this world that we're living in, everybody's just really, guys, we're figuring it out. We are literally figuring it out, because every day is something new that we have to learn. Every day is a new person that we need to come into our lives. So don't beat yourself up when it seems as if it's heavy and it's overwhelming. It's heavy and overwhelming for us as well, but that's why we have a community. Feel free to reach out to the GW3 Global Society whenever you feel that you have no place to go. You have a home right here, and we open up our doors to you. Well, guys, today has been a powerful, powerful Transformational Tuesday. I just want to say thank you again for everything that you continue to do in this world. And you know, as we close out this segment, I want to say again to you, Jordan, thank you. And yes, on the 24th, let me see how many warriors we can pack in Passion City Church, okay? We're going to work on that before we actually have our event on the 24th, because it is on a Sunday. And while we're preparing ourselves, we're going to look for ways of just keep on creating new opportunities, because we know we need each other. That togetherness is everything. So until we meet up again, we're going to roll our shoulders back. We're going to keep our heads up high. It's time for us to go blaze the universe. The world needs another game changer. And you know who that game changer is? It's YOU. Thank you guys so very much for joining us for this week's episode of Transformational Tuesday. Thank you, Jordan Taylor, for being our special guest. Thank you, Shirley, for being right here, a part of this journey. We love you guys, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Bye for now.
Bye.
It's such a great honor to be able to raise funds for Living Beyond Breast